going on, everyone? It's Bales, and welcome back to another AFL Fantasy round review. Round 9, bit of a jam-packed round, to be honest. Plenty of ups, a few downs, so we'll get stuck in all the players that were and how my week went. So, round 9, 21.81. So, not too bad considering a lot of people scored a lot less than that with a few bullets, which I'm sure we'll get to throughout the video. But yeah, that put me at a round rank of 12,831. Overall ranking of 6,142, which I'm actually just going to get up how many spots exactly I moved up, because yeah, it wasn't very many. Probably about I'm going to say about 500 spots, I want to say. So last round, I was at 6,568. So, what's that? 426 spots I went up. So I'll take the positives in the fact that I moved up. But when you think about it, it could have been obviously a lot more. So, but yeah. We'll go +3 and -3. And it would have been good if I could have cracked the top 6K or even top 5K this week. But yeah, +3, -3. It's probably got to be Gordon, right? 153, right? Because he was my top scorer. He was amazing for the second week in a row, right? But I'm not going to give it to him, right? Probably think it's Taranto. I'm not going to give it to him either because he's been great all year. Bont has been good all year as well. Well, most of the year. There's a few players here which we'll talk about which could actually get it this week. But I'm actually going to give it to Lachie Whitfield, right? So 105 in a tough matchup against Collingwood. Obviously, no Isaac Cumming did help, right? But picking him up 4 weeks ago, I picked him up for, I can't even remember what he was priced at. He would have been, I think it was like 720 or something like that, or 730. I just thought he's underpriced. I thought, yep, I could bring him in. He can do me through the buys. And that was obviously with the injured game. And he's been solid all year, right? If you look at these numbers, like he's got a minimum 80 in every game he's played, except for that one where he obviously got injured. But he was on track probably 80 in that game anyway, right? Brought him in this game here against Brisbane, where he scored an 81. I think I got... Actually, no, hang on. I got him in round 5, actually, against Hawthorn. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I got him against Hawthorn. Yes, I went for 5 weeks, right? So he gets 3 80s in a row, and I'm thinking, oh, okay, maybe he's just like another McGrath type where just consistent 80s and stuff and not really much. But the last 2 weeks, 130 against the Dogs. We know the Dogs give up points to defenders, so that's obviously good. But you've got to put the score on the board at the end of the day as well. It's all well and good saying, oh, it's a good matchup for this player, but he's then actually got to put the score on the board. So it's good to see him do that. And then backed up with a 105 against Collingwood, right? Had a lot of handballs in this game, and he doesn't handball that much. So could have been a little bit bigger from him. St Kilda's got this week. Great matchup. He should put up a good one here back at Giants Stadium as well. So back home for the Giants this week. They'll be pumped up at home. And you never know, they could win. St Kilda obviously losing to the Crows this week. We'll see how they go. But yeah, Lachie Whitfield, got to shout him out for +3. Good, sort of good 2 weeks after sort of 3 80s in a row. My -3, right? I don't like giving it to rookies, but it has to go to Chincotta, right? 22 is unacceptable as a rookie. Like, if you hit 40, then it's like, okay, poor score, but you take it, right? Or not take it, but you go, okay, well, it's just a rookie, right? But 22, he played how much game time? He played mostly 72%. It's not like he was on the bench for half the game. He was on the field, 9 disposals, 22 points after 3 70s. Again, everyone had him on field. There was only a couple of people that would have had him. I know the Warney was linked, put Jinby on the field, like took his score and was able to bench Chink, and he chose to bench Chincotta. But a lot of people went on the field. Bulldogs matchup was great, but 22, his break-even shoots up. His now break-even is his break-even now is 34. So it's now shot up. It's that 22 is going to be hindering his cash gen over the next few weeks. There's a chance he gets dropped as well because of how poor he played. I'm hoping he doesn't, but if he does, that's got to be an issue that we've got to fix. And a lot of people got him on field. So got to give him the -3 there, not only because of poor score, but because of potential issues he's going to cause me this week. Because I was pretty comfortable having Chincotta, Jinby, and Pedler as my 3 rookies, and Ashcroft as well as my 4. But obviously, yeah, I've got to obviously continue to upgrade the rookies. But yeah, Chincotta's got to be the one that's probably got to get pushed off field, unfortunately. So yeah, they're my plus and -3s. But let's go through the team player by player. Before I do, I'll speak about the issue. Obviously, Callum Mills, I obviously dodged that, but I do honestly feel sorry for those coaches that brought him in, because I think it was a good move. He was cheap. Mills, back-to-back hundreds, more in the midfield. They're the sort of players that you look to bring in fantasy at this time. You try and get these value players, and coaches that brought him in, they sort of got that dished up, unfortunately. So, and I had that. I'd took Miller in round 4 or 5. I can't remember when when I brought him in against North Melbourne, which was unfortunate. I'm just going here. So, yeah, round 6, scored a 48, and he dropped 50k, which obviously Mills dropped a lot as well. So, unfortunately, those coaches have got to try and fix that issue this week. But, yeah, that was a big issue from the week. Not a lot of people own LDU, so I don't think there's too many coaches with him, but there will be some. So, but, yeah, Nick Dacos, we'll start with him, 115. Very, very happy. Obviously, he's had a quiet first quarter, only 19 points, was getting tagged by Halloran, but as the game went on, he got more and more involved. He had 40 disposals in the end, which, can you believe that? It's ridiculous. He's an absolute jet. Like, at the start of the year, I was worried about can he put up multiple ceiling games and multiple big scores, and he's been able to do that. Like, take away the 84, he's had one score below 9. He's only had the one score below 100 being a 99. It's ridiculous how good he's been, and he's going to be probably the top defender, if not top 2 or 3. So, yeah, he's been fantastic. And, yeah, who's he got this week? He has Carlton. So, yeah, they might put some tension in him. I wouldn't be surprised if Ed Kerno comes into the 22 and plays a defensive forward role on Dacos. So, I would be a little bit wary of that. But, yeah, he's just a jet anyway. He'll do his thing. Tom Stewart, 96, a couple of free kicks given away. One of them was probably the most softest free I've ever seen being paid. So that was 100 probably from him if that wasn't paid, because he would have had a kick in that one. He obviously had the 6 points, the 3 back from the free kick that he got taken, and then obviously the kick. So, but yeah, he's just trucking along just quite nicely, doing his thing. So yeah, I'm still happy I've got him, and round 13 buys me very valuable. So if you don't have him, I still think he's not a bad take. 801. So you're not as much value as before, but I just think that buy does hold a lot more value than what all the other guys have. Will Day, 77, a bit underwhelming. Had a good first half. I think he was on 53. He was on about 30 odd at quarter time. So he scored 40 points in the last 3 quarters. So disappointing. I'm not worrying yet. Obviously, since he's been back from suspension, he hasn't really hit any big scores of note. Only the 100, 85, 77. Again, not the easiest matchups with the Dogs, Freo and Melbourne. He's got a bit of an easier matchup this week against West Coast, and then he's got St Kilda. So 2 matchups he should do pretty well in. So I'm not really worried about him. But obviously, just disappointing he couldn't put up like a 90 or something. As I mentioned, like a Whitfield before, 105. I think he's actually not a bad trade target this week as well. I know he's got the round 15 bye, which maybe, like, for defenders, it's pretty good. Will Day's round 14, Tom Stewart's round 13, Dacos is round 14, Atkins is round 13, Chincotta's round 15, but he's obviously not going to be on my field for me. And then you've obviously got Sheasel and Chincotta on the bench that'll have round 15. But Whitfield, I think, is a good option. So people will look at him this week. Rory Atkins, 75 on debut. I'm pretty happy with that. Still got a low break even as well heading in this week with a 17. Went up 57k, so even if he's dropped this week, it's still a 50k from 1 week, so I'm pretty happy with that, but I think he'll stay in the team. I think he played well enough to get at least another week, so yeah, hopefully he can play. Brisbane at the Gabba, a little bit tougher, but I think he can still score okay in that game, but yeah, hopefully we'll see what he does, but a lot of people jumped on him. He's owned by, how many people is he owned by? Yeah, 23%, so he's owned by a lot, or nearly 24%, so he's owned by a lot, so yeah, not too, pretty good debut from him. Yeah, Alex Chincotta's mentioned 22, just not good enough. So he'll probably move to the bench for me. Or at least I might be able to loop someone on if Chesser and Cowan both don't play. Darcy Wilmot, 59, just doing his thing. Still went up a little bit as well. Went up about 9k. So I'll take it. I'll take the little price rise there. Break into 39. So he's still got a little bit of money to make. If you can still tick along with a little bit of cash gen, I'll take it. So 59, not too bad. Obviously, it just sucks that he was on my bench and then I had a Chincotta 22, but everyone was in that boat. So Taranto continues his 100 streak with Oliver. They both went over 100 yet again. I've just seen that Oliver's ticked under the $1 million mark. So yeah, he's getting down a little bit in price. So Oliver will be, actually, what is Oliver's break even actually? Thinking about that, Oliver's breaking 123. Okay, so he still might drop a little bit. And then the same with like even an English, who they're probably the 2 ones I want. Breaking 138, he might drop a little bit there. And obviously Dawson's the other one there. He just continues to rise slowly, breaking to 111. But yeah, he's been great. They're the 3 I want. But yeah, Taranto just continues it, and he's now $1 million. He's now the 2nd most expensive player in the game, and based on what he's doing. What's his break even now? 112. If he goes another 120, 130 again, he could be more expensive than English and be the most expensive player in the game. So he's been fantastic. What was his average? 119. So near 120 average. That's ridiculous. He's been so good. Tom Green, bit of a quieter game for him. 81. Tough matchup against Collingwood. Collingwood dominated the game pretty much from start to finish. That's why it was good that Whitfield actually still got his 100 as well. But Tom Green, he's still going to be top 8 midfielder, I think. Still averaging 115. Obviously, it sucks that he put up that poor score there. And I nearly went him captain over Laird. Obviously, we'll talk about Laird in a sec as well. But yeah, he's still a great option. Obviously, a few people did jump on him this week. And you were never going to get 170 because you missed that score. But with Giants this week, he's a shout to be my captain. With St Kilda this week's a good matchup. So, should go well. I'm not too worried about him. He's still expensive and he's doing his thing. The Bont, though, I'm very, very impressed with. So that's now 3 games out of his last 4. He's gone over 110. And I think he's only gone under 100 once in the last 6 weeks. So he's been ultra impressive. Yeah, all over 118 those as well. So it's not like they're little... Oh, so a bit tired, obviously, waking up for football this morning. But yeah, those 300s were very, very good as well. He's getting marks and tackles. Like look at this. Like his big hundreds, he's got 6 and 10, 5 and 6. Obviously, that was only a 9 though, but 4 and 7, 5 and 9. So he's building that base of those good scores. So I think he'll be a top 8 mid. He's looking really, really good at the moment. I'm very happy to have him. Rory Laird, who's actually now my 4th most expensive midfielder when he started at number 1, but obviously he's number 3 because transfer forward. 925. I think he's still a good option. Again, copped a big hit. He got subbed out on 101. That would have been a 120. He was looking really, really good. Had a big, what quarter was it? They had a big quarter. Third quarter, he had 44 points. And I thought, here we go. This is heating up. He's going to have a big last quarter, maybe get to a 130. But unfortunately, he got subbed out on 101. He actually had what was that? He had a few disposals. He had a couple of disposals in the first, sort of few minutes. Yeah, got the free kick, kicked it, and then got another kick as well. And then he obviously got subbed. But again, Nixie said it was precaution. I saw on Laird's Instagram that he'd taking photos with family for Mother's Day and stuff, and he was all smiles and stuff. So again, if he was really in pain, I don't think that's he would be smiling. So I think he's going to be all good for this week. So that's a good thing. So the good thing is he put 100 up. It's not the worst thing. It would have. You add him, and then we'll go to the next guy, Jack Steele, who got rested in the whole final quarter on 75. That rank there, that could have been potentially top 5k, but unfortunately. But at least I still got him there. Again, Jack Steele's the issue now. That's now an 85 and a 75 in 2 weeks. Again, this game here was just not suited to him at all. North Melbourne just chipped it round. And then this game here, he was tracking along okay. But yeah, just unfortunately got subbed out for a precaution as well. So had a bit of a knee knock, but he should be fine at just 138 break even still. He went down, how much did he go down this week? 35k, 35k, and then he's going to drop this week. That's 50 odd K I've lost, and he's going to lose more. So it's just disappointing where I could have brought him in potentially next week and got him even cheaper. And I could have got Dawson instead of Steele, and now it's like an 80k difference almost between the two. It's about 70k between the two. So disappointing. I'm still happy I've got him. He's still going to do his thing. He's still got a couple of good matchups here to come. He plays well against Sydney, as that average there suggests, and Richmond. So I'm liking the next month for him. He's still fine. I'm not trading him out. He's still got the role. So yeah, I wouldn't be trading him out if you've got him. Just disappointing that score. Will Ashcroft 101 though. Again, went up a pretty good amount in 33k. It's up to 672. Still a low break even. Low enough break even there. He's just really good, isn't he? He plays the Gabba this week as well, which is where he does score well. His good scores, the 90, the 94, the 115, and the 109 were all at the... Actually, no, 94 wasn't actually, sorry. But the 115, 109, the 90 were all at the Gabba. So he's just been going really good. And I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do this week against Gold Coast at the Gabba. He should put up another good score. So happy I held on to him. Braden Fiorini, 65. A little bit quiet. His break-even's a bit concerning. It's up to 58 now, and he got a 65 this week. I know the game wasn't suited to him, but again, if he only gets a 70 next week, he's only going up a couple of K, and he could get dropped at any point. Obviously, we know Fiorini, so he's not locked into my team this week. I have thought, could I trade him instead? So we'll have to see how that goes, but yeah. Ruben Jinby, very happy to take his score of 96. 17 tackles. If he got the ball a little bit, he actually would have put up a pretty big score, but still good. I'll take 96. Obviously, some good cash gen there. He went up, 28k this week, 36 break. He's still got a little bit of cash to make now, which is good. He's kickstarted a little bit more cash gen. Round 14 buy, which is a bit handy for my team, so I'll keep him for to his buy and trade him then. Obviously, benched Ollie Hollands to take Jinby's score. Made the mistake of Taranto being in my mids, but it actually worked out. I actually gained 21 points by that mistake, so it actually worked out pretty well. But yeah, Hollands 59 in 3/4, got subbed out at 3/4 time. Still don't know why. He played pretty well. Chincotta was really quiet and he didn't play well, so surprising. But yeah, he again, break even in the 40s. He could go. Round 15 buy. I've already got a few players of that buy, so I don't actually need him. So yeah, a few tough matchups as well. Collingwood, tough matchup. Sydney, Melbourne. I don't like those three really. So, and he can go, like, again, if he just gets along his 50s, like, what's the point of keeping him? He's not going to go up any cash. So I think it's time to go for him for me. He will be in my trade plans regardless of what happens. Ryan Marshall, 116, pretty good. Again, a bit like Steele, was rested for the last 15 or so minutes. He still played 78% game time, so it's on the field pretty much the whole time. And 116 is a very good score. It's equal third highest score for the year, and he obviously rested a lot. So, again, Giants this week could be a really tasty matchup against Flynn, and he could be a captain option as well. So I'll look to see what I do between Green and Marshall as my backup captain. Sean Darcy, 115, was good for the second week this season to actually get a win over the English owners. He outscored English by, 22 points. So I'll take the little win there. Because he got 115, his break-in was 117 this round. At least he stops dropping a lot. He'll actually stay at that sort of similar price. So break-in 107, he's going to go up that much more. But if he can maintain this 850k price in round 12, I'll be able to go Darcy to English, and that'll really help the buys. So, or even a Darcy to Gawn and flick, and then get English in round 13 or whatever. So, Josh Dunkley, 88, very disappointing as a VC. Would have been really nice to have locked a 120 away and not have to worry about Laird as captain, because in that 101 wouldn't have stung as much. But the 88 VC, I thought Essendon at home, good matchup. I would have taken, if I'd Bont VC, who I was tossing up between Dunkley and Bont, I would have taken Bont's score of 118. I'm locking anything pretty much over 110, so I would have locked that away. Unfortunately, I chose the wrong one and I lost a few points. But again, I only lost 17 points. But again, you add that, then you add the Laird if you didn't get subbed, and Steele and Marshall, I would have had probably a monster week. So, yeah. Connor Rosie, 79. Looked like he got a bit of a team tag. He didn't get tagged by any individual player, but it looked like North Melbourne paying close attention to him. 79. I mentioned on the podcast last night that with Rosie, if you look at his scores of late, right, he's not an issue, right? But you look at from here onwards. So since the 133, he's got 3 sub-100 scores in pretty nice matchups there. He's only got 300s for the year. He's got 2 90s, but then the rest are under 80. So under 90. So I'm not saying that we should trade X. He's not. He's averaging 95. He's a luxury trade if you're even thinking about it. But is he going to be that top 6 forward that we thought? Because guys like the next guy I'll talk about here in Goulden, if Zeeble stays here and I get other defenders, then and Taranto obviously go here as well. If we get Petracca and Walsh as forwards, then Rosie might not be in the top 6. So yeah, he's just a guy that I'll keep in my team. But seeing what my team will be like in round 15. Yeah, we'll just have to see. Could be traded out. I don't know. We'll have to see. Hopefully he can bounce back against Melbourne this week and have a good game. Errol Goulden. Wow. Just incredible. 153. Backing up from 161 last week, then 116 the week before. He didn't do it with marks this time either. Which is pretty crazy that he scored near what he did last week, but he had essentially the same amount of touches. 2 less? He had a lot less marks and less tackles. Also, 1 more tackle, but he still scored near. It's just incredible. He's selling 3 scores in a row over 116. He's just a very, very good player, isn't he? And again, if you remove, let's see here, Melbourne, they got beaten pretty badly, got a 70. Geelong, they got beaten really badly, 3 behinds as well. He got a 70. Take those 2 out, he hasn't gone under 95. So he's had a very, very good year. And I know that the last couple of weeks make it look even better. 107 average. It's as Selby likes to talk about, you need these knockout picks. If you started with Goulden, it was a knockout pick because if you're averaging 107 after 9 weeks, I know it's a little bit inflated with the 2 scores, but 907k, he's gone up 172k for the year. He'll be going up probably 200k for the year by the time next week happens, because breaking into 45 against North Melbourne, I think he'll have a pretty solid week. He's a VC shout for me next week as well, because he's got that ceiling. It's 2 weeks in a row, so very, very good, very impressed, and very happy I've got him on my side. Jack Zeeble, a little bit the same as well, backed up last week's big score with a ton in a pretty difficult matchup against Port Adelaide at Blundstone, so I'm happy he got his 100. And Sydney at Marvel, and then Collingwood at Marvel, obviously, and then Essendon at Marvel, actually. So 3 games at Marvel now in a row. Again, these 2 aren't really that easy, but the fact they're at Marvel, I think he can still put up some good scores. So he's looking everything like a top 6 defender or forward, because averaging 104, obviously, again, a little bit inflated with that big score, but he's just been very, very good this year. Harry Sheasel, solid again with an 81. Again, very difficult matchup. Had a quiet first half, but really got going in that third quarter and the beginning of the last. So got into a respectable 81. Again, we're not worried about him. He's not a rookie. He's a keeper at this stage. And if we want to luxury trade him later in the year, we can. Looking very, very good. Luke Pedler, high score for the year with an 80. Kicked 2 goals again. I think that's 3 games in a row now. He's kicked 2 goals, which is... He's just playing very, very good football for the Crows at the moment. Yeah, look at that. He's gone goalless in 1 game. He's kicked 1-1, 2-2-2. So he's been very, very good. And again, 45 against Geelong in Geelong, and then 47 against Carlton when he actually started really well. He had 2 really quiet quarters. But he's been very consistent, that 60 to 80 range in most games. So again, I think he's a hold for the time being. He's a safe guy to put on field and get you your 50 to 60, and you don't have to worry about it. So I'm pretty happy with holding him for the time being. He's got a good role and playing midfield. Had a few CBAs as well. People are probably saying, well, Laird was out last quarter, but he actually had a few of those CBAs before Laird went off. I saw a few times Pedler in the CBAs with Dawson and Sloan and Laird and guys like that. So that's encouraging. And Nick's, from what it sounds like, I haven't listened to the press conference yet, which I will do tonight. Tonight I'm recording it Sunday night, but obviously last night I would have watched it by. And yeah, hopefully he stays a little bit more in this midfield role, because he looked good. He looks like a very good player for the Crows. Very happy we've got him. Dylan Williams, 62. Looked like he went off injured. From what I've heard, it just sounded like it was just a cramp, a little bit stretching at his hamstring. So hopefully he's fine. I think he's playing good enough football. He's not going to be dropped. If he is out, he should come back in, hopefully. Still got a low break even. Still got money to make. I'm glad I jumped on him last week and Atkins to make that money, because it's going to make life easier in a few weeks' time to downgrade these rookies. Because if you look, I've got a couple of 500k rookies here on the bench. Obviously, he's on the bench. So one on the bench, 500k. 400k there. He'll be 400k. May Van Roon soon, who got 65. What's his break even? 27. Went up 19k. So he's again ticking along nicely. And then you got Wilmot is near 400. So I've got bet money on the bench, which is good. So very, very happy with that. And then Cowan obviously didn't play. May come in with Carlton losing again. I don't know if they played VFL. I don't know if they had a bye or if they played, but hopefully he played well and comes back in, because I traded Alwyn Davey because Dave was a sub. I thought break him to 48. I'd rather trade him first and not have to worry about the cash drop. And I'm like, well, I'll bring Cowan in. You never know, he could come back in. And even if he doesn't, I can trade him at some point anyway. Whereas at least Alwyn Davies dropping cash and I got rid of him. So I'm fine with that. So yeah, that's pretty much how we went. Again, as I said, a few points missed on the in the week. Could have had a few things extra go my way, and then all of a sudden, like again, if Jack Steele was Dawson, I might have considered Dawson captain over Laird just because of the marks and stuff against St Kilda, but obviously hindsight's a wonderful thing. Should have gone Taranto VC. I would have definitely taken that, or even Bont. Obviously, if Steele played the whole game, Marshall played the whole game, if Laird played the whole game, then all of a sudden you're laughing, and I've probably scored, probably 2250, maybe near 2300. All of a sudden, that's a great week, and I'm probably top 5k at least. So hopefully we can bounce back a little bit this week, even though it wasn't really a bad week. I still rose up in the ranks. It's now every week bar one round I've risen in the ranks, which is good. So starting to get to a bit more respectable. But hopefully this is the week coming up where we can hopefully make a move. So, but yeah, my initial trades at this stage, as I mentioned before, with rookie downgrades is very, very slim picking. So, Could I get Drury? I don't know. He scored 25. Tough matchup. So if he's named and there's nothing else, maybe you just go Drury and bring him in. Jai Clark, if he's named the 22, I'd be pretty keen on to bring in just because of the scoring power I saw in that final quarter of, he scored 36 in just over a quarter, which is very, very good for a rookie. So he's an option. Harry Sharp, I want to jump on him for a couple of weeks. -7 break even, so I could jump on him. So they're probably the three at the moment that I'm looking at, unless Faye gets named. If Faye gets named, I could just go straight down to him. But yeah, I'm looking at doing a downgrade. It could be Wilmot down to him, and then probably someone like a Hollands up to Duncan, if I can do that. So pretty much it would be Wilmot to Drury, and then it'll be Hollands up to Duncan. Or the other thing I was thinking of is either do Cowan down to a Jai Clark or someone like that, and then go a could be Chincotta if I wanted to go early on him. Could be a Hollands and go to a Ben Hobbs and just get a guy that can make money and have the division role. I'm not as keen on that though. But then the one that I'm pretty keen on that I'm thinking that could actually be a good move is doing Hollands down, getting cash for Jai Clark again if he's named, and then using that cash on top of Fiorini and going all the way up to Jordan Dawson. That's something I'm considering as well. Means I'd have to probably play Dylan Williams type or a Jinby on my field this week. But I'm almost prepared to do that for a week and potentially just go up and get Dawson. But I don't know. I'm still probably leaning Duncan one, but the Dawson one is interesting. I need Dawson in my team at some point. So there you go. That's how my round 9 went. Let me know in the comments below how you guys went in round 9. Let me know your +3s and -3s and what your initial trades are heading into round 10. So we're very, very close to buy, so it's going to be really at the front of our thinking. So I'll be back on Wednesday for the usual Wednesday trade talk. And yeah, so stay tuned to the channel for any other content that's coming out. Appreciate you guys, all the support you guys have shown over the last few weeks and pretty much all season. So really do appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed yet, get involved. Hit the bottom right-hand corner. 2 clicks is all it takes, and you've subscribed to the channel. Get involved with the community. We're building a nice community here, which is fantastic. So much positivity, which I can't thank you guys enough for. Make sure you also like the video if you're enjoying the content. Again, as I always say, helps out with the algorithm stuff. More people can see the video, so if they're interested, then they might want to click on, and obviously that's better. Obviously, if more people see it, because then we can build a community, which would be great. So appreciate all that there. Turn notifications on so you don't miss when I go live or upload any other content in the future, and all my social media links are in the description below, so follow me across all those. If you've got any other questions, hit me up on the socials or in the comments below, as I mentioned before. And we'll be back for the Wednesday trade talk video in a couple of days, so looking forward to that, discussing those trades. So have a good week, guys, and I'll catch you all in the next video. So I'm out. Cheers.